It feels like technology is moving at light speed these days. Every single day there's some new breakthrough that promises to completely reshape our world. But here's the thing, for every incredible step forward, there's always a shadow, a new risk that comes right along with it. And that's the real tug-of-war we're diving into today. The amazing promise versus the very real peril of the age we live in.
So let's just get right to it. The one big question that's on everyone's mind. Where is all of this actually taking us? Are we building a brighter future, or are we just inventing slicker, more sophisticated ways to cause problems? And the answer? Well, it's kind of both. And this right here, this image just nails it, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got this incredible drive to build and create, to push the boundaries of what's possible. That's the side of tech that could solve problems we used to think were unsolvable. But on the other hand, you have this dark urge to exploit, to disrupt, and to break things. And the craziest part? They're both born from the exact same tech revolution. All right, let's tackle the scary stuff first, the peril. Because look, to really get a handle on the good stuff, you gotta understand what we're up against. And the world of cybercrime, it's not just growing, it's absolutely exploding. 124. Let that sink in for a second. That's how many separate ransomware groups researchers were tracking in 2025 alone. I mean, that is a record-breaking number of organized digital crime rings all running at the same time. This isn't just a handful of hackers in a basement. We're talking about a massive professional criminal industry. And the damage they're doing? It's just staggering. Last year, they went after more than 7,500 organizations. And that's just the ones they publicly bragged about on their leak sites. Think about that. Hospitals locked out of patient records, schools having their student data held hostage, businesses ground to a complete halt. And again, these are only the attacks we know about. But here's what's really terrifying. It's not just the size of the problem, it's how fast it's growing. 58%. That was the year-over-year jump in observed ransomware victims. I mean, that's not a gradual slope. That's a rocket ship heading straight up. And it shows just how fast this whole threat is accelerating. So what's pouring gasoline on this fire? Well, for starters, AI. It's making it way easier for criminals who aren't even that skilled to pull off some seriously sophisticated attacks. And the whole criminal ecosystem? It's incredibly tough. You see law enforcement take down a big name, like Lockbit, and you'd think that's a win, right? But nope. Smaller groups just swoop in, scoop up the leftover talent, and the beat goes on. It's this huge, sprawling network that's just so hard to kill.
Okay, that's a lot. And it's pretty daunting, for sure. But it's only half the story. Now let's flip the coin. Because on the other side of this whole revolution, something just as massive is brewing. We're talking about something that could change literally everything. We're talking about the quantum age.
There's this quote from researchers at the University of Chicago and MIT that just hits the nail on the head. It says, quantum tech is at its transistor moment. Think about it. It's like we're in the days before the transistor completely changed classical computing. The basic science is there, the potential is real and powerful, but there is still a ton of hard engineering work ahead before this thing really changes the world. So how do we measure that progress? Well, experts have this handy scale called the Technology Readiness Level, or TRL for short. It's super simple, really. It goes from 1 to 9. A 1 is like, hey, we just saw this weird thing happen in the lab. And a 9 is, okay, this thing is fully built, tested, and working out in the real world. And here's the cool part. When you use that TRL scale on quantum tech, you see we've made some incredible leaps. Different types of quantum computers are already getting really good at specific things. For example, you've got superconducting qubits. These are the ones that need to be super-duper cold, and they're leading the pack for raw computing power. Then you have neutral atoms, which use lasers to trap single atoms. They're amazing for running complex simulations. The main point here is this isn't just science fiction anymore. These things have a high TRL. They actually work. The big puzzle now isn't can we do it, it's can we make it huge. And that right there is where our two stories, the promise and the peril, crash right back into each other. Because it doesn't matter if you're building a world-changing quantum computer or fighting a global army of cybercriminals, the challenges you face are huge, they're complex, and yeah, the road ahead is a long one for everybody. Just look at how similar the struggles are, and it's kind of wild. On the quantum side, engineers are dealing with what they call the tyranny of numbers. Like, how on earth do you wire up and control millions of these tiny things? Meanwhile, in cybersecurity, the good guys are battling threats that learn and adapt using AI. Quantum folks need breakthroughs in material science to build these things reliably. At the same time, law enforcement is playing this endless game of cat and mouse with the bad guys. It's a nonstop arms race on both fronts.
Which brings us to maybe the most important lesson of all: patience. Think about it. All the huge breakthroughs in history, they took years, decades even. It's a good reminder to, take a deep breath and manage our expectations. This isn't a 100-meter dash. For the builders and the defenders, this is a marathon. So where does that leave us? What's the big takeaway? We're living in a pretty defining moment in history, right? It's a race. A race between the people using technology to build a better future and those using it to tear everything down. And honestly, the outcome of that race is going to define what comes next for all of us.
And if there's one thing to remember from all of this, it's this. The tech itself, an AI model, a quantum computer, whatever, it's neutral. It doesn't have a moral compass. A hammer can build a home or it can shatter a window. The tool is just a tool. It's the human choice, the intent behind it, that decides everything. That's what determines if we build up or break down our world.
And that leaves us, you and me, with the last and most important question of all. These tools are getting more powerful by the day. They're not some far-off future thing. They are shaping our world right now. The power is right here, in our hands. So, how are we going to choose to use them?